Welcome back to another enlightening episode of One Special Place podcast. I'm sure you've all heard about positive parenting, but today we are unveiling something new. We will talk about positive aging, which is a fresh perspective on the universally experienced concept of aging. Today's episode is a special one as we are joined by an esteemed guest, Sayee Deshpande, who is a seasoned psychologist at One Special Place. It's worth noting that we are recording this episode to celebrate World Mental Health Day, which falls on October 10th. We felt that it was the perfect time to bring Sayee on board to discuss about mental health in elderly. With her wealth of experience in psychology, Sayee is well equipped to shed light on the significance of mental health and offer practical insights into how we can nurture it. So without any further delay, let's dive into this important conversation with Sayee Deshpande on positive aging. Welcome Sayee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. So Sayee, I'm sure, with that preface I gave, our listeners are interested in knowing a bit more about what positive aging is and all the other aspects around it. So let's start. What is positive aging and how does it actually differ from traditional notions of aging?
Mm-hmm. So, positive aging is nothing but just an outlook, right? It's the way of like a perspective towards aging. Because I see a lot of us, in fact, for all of us, aging is looked at quite negatively. We never talk about aging and positive in one go. So positive aging is nothing but a perspective, an approach that all of us can take towards accepting aging, not as a destination, but I would rather say as a journey, because we all age every day.
Right. That's so beautifully put. So I know all of us have, that elderly person at home, be it our parents, our grandparents, or uncle and aunt. And, I'm sure that if we keep this aspect in mind, we will also be, better participants in their environment. Nice. So, Sai, can you share some practical tips and strategies for individuals to embrace positive aging and maintain a fulfilling and purposeful life as they grow older?
Yes. So, Pratiksha, in fact, when we talk about positive aging, first thing to look at is acceptance. I see a society, as a society, we're obsessed with youth, staying younger and just staying younger. Even though we are aging physically, we all want to stay younger. But looking younger is one thing. But how about feeling younger, So there are so many different ways one can age gracefully by finding fulfillment and also embracing this stage with a lot of enthusiasm and joy. And it's not something that's impossible. I see a lot of senior citizens who are doing it so well, who are redefining the concept of aging for themselves, and how they're finding new roles and finding new hobbies. So there's a lot to it. For starters, just the small little things like accepting this as a new beginning, uh, you know being open to learning hobbies,
Right.
starting new interests, developing new interests, uh, teaching. There is so much, because we have to understand that our senior citizens are definitely a lot more wisdomous than us, and we have so much to learn from them. And this this learning is also for them, because this also gives them a lot of potential for personal growth, for just personal development, and this that constantly evolving and adapting nature.
Right.
So just spending time with young people of the generation, young people around them, learning crochet. I'm seeing a lot of people these days doing crochet. In fact, I know somebody who's in her 60s and who's recently started crochet, and she's now trying to develop it into a business, which is so
Wow.
commendable. So there are so many things. There's looking after your physical health, mental health, making social connections. In fact, when I speak with senior citizens, one thing that really helps them is staying connected with their friends, with their relatives, and this is where technology helps them. So, learning Facebook, how to use Instagram, WhatsApp, I think this constantly evolving nature is what's ultimately going to help people accept or get into this, this area of positive aging.
Right. And you're so right. There are a lot of people we encounter these days. And I think Facebook has been a big hit with at least Indian elderly family members, and the way they've taken onto Facebook and embracing technology on WhatsApp. And so that's quite good.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate the point that you mentioned on, that we are constantly pushed towards that thing of remaining age free and looking in a certain way. And I think that's been drilled from our childhood. Now we have anti-aging regimes, anti-aging face creams, foods. Everything is about how to actually
Yeah.
beat aging. But I think it's important to also look at the side of embracing aging, and hence this
Yes.
dialogue has to definitely change. And mental health day is around the corner, and I think this is a very important message that we give out to today's youth and to today's elderly people as well. Right. So, say you mentioned about society playing a role, so how can societal attitudes and stereotypes about aging, how can they impact an individual's ability to age positively? Like, I just said that everyone is just trying to look younger or feel younger.
Hmm.
So how we can, change this, and what is the impact of societal attitudes on aging?
Yeah, so of course, societal attitudes, play a big role. We all know that in all areas, in fact. But like they say, change starts from home. So why not we start changing how we talk about old age, how we talk to our kids, how we talk to our relatives, our family members about aging. Usually, I see aging is, looked at as, looked at with sympathy. Like that bichara tag is given to aging, that
Mm.
what will happen to me when I grow old. Oh, loneliness. And see, loneliness is of course a big part of aging. But if we are going to constantly look at aging as as a disease, as something that's dreaded, you it's a destination, right? It's the final thing, everybody looks at it as that's the end. But what if we start talking about the good part of aging? And there are so many good parts, good aspects of aging, and I feel that we should give that voice to our senior citizens. We should give that voice to the geriatric population out there, because like I said, they are full of wisdom, they are full of stories. But I think they need a push, they need some confidence. They say that old age is nothing but like starting your childhood all over again.
Mm.
And we do see it with our grandparents. Sometimes they do behave a little bit childlike, but which also means that we kind of have to motivate them, have to encourage them, not put them down. And I don't think a senior citizen is a bichara person, is a somebody who really needs help in all areas. I think they are more than capable of taking care of themselves. So it is us who make them feel like that. It is us who don't let them do anything. I
Right.
see after retirement, the kids, their approach towards their parents changes. Suddenly they take over. They'll tell them not what to do, what not to do. Everything has to run according to the children's time schedule now, because parents are old and retired. So I think these small things also play a big role. Letting your old parents travel by themselves. And unless there is a physical disability, there
Mm.
is a physical reason for them not traveling, I think they all can do it. But our attitude and the way we behave is what ultimately makes them double think everything.
Right, right. I totally agree with you. And sometimes we feel that our attitude as, their, as children or as, people in their environment, having that attitude that the elderly cannot do or cannot function in a certain way, or they are rigid. These are also common things that we feel, that the elderly are very fixed in their mindset and they are not adaptive to change. And
Hmm.
so I think these are also some important issues that probably we should sit and look into. And so you spoke about certain elderly and certain old people not being physically well, and so physical health, we know it does play a big role in positive aging. But what is the role of mental health, say, in positive aging, and how can we actually promote these aspects for people when they age?
Hmm. Yeah. So when we talk about mental health, we know mental health is it's all connected with not just the physical health but also your environment, your social connections, your relationship with family and friends. And beyond that, one aspect that we do not talk about enough is community involvement. You know, uh, we feel that at old age this person is now going to stay at home and just go to doctor, go to the hospital, and that's it. But there is a scope, a wide scope in fact, for them to start feeling better, to start taking care of their mental health, firstly by staying physically active. That of course directly impacts your mental health. Secondly, like I said, involving yourself in community work, volunteer work. I see some people around me, some senior citizens who actually teach Vedas to the kids, and I find that amazing. That's so inspiring, because our kids do Vedas, and who we don't know enough about
Right.
Vedas. At least I don't. So there are so many avenues, but the only thing is you have to be open minded enough. So yes, so it's not just the change as us as family members, but of course it is also the person who is how that person is coping with these life transitions. And coping with the life transitions, obviously it includes a very major aspect of mental health, that what we call as resilience. And that
Hmm.
resilience is built over years. And in fact, there was a study I was reading about recently which said that for those senior citizens who are religious, who are spiritual, who pray, their resilience was much higher than those who don't. So nobody talks about the benefit of spirituality.
Right.
So, and
Right.
as a psychologist, when I meet senior citizens, for them, my work with them is very different, because more than the whole aspect of mental health, what really helps me connect with them in this is the spirituality.
Hmm.
Because they are so spiritual, most of them are so spiritual in nature. Their faith and belief in God, that helps them get through the toughest of times.
Yes.
So that is the thread that we need to keep pulling at when we deal with senior citizens. That is how we connect with them,
Right.
and that is a huge, that's a huge weapon for them. That's a huge role that helps them with their mental health, in fact. And apart from this, of course, just talking to kids, talking to grandchildren, having their own group, not just family members. That's another thing about society, right? We feel that senior citizens means they're only going to spend time with family members, but senior citizens can have other senior citizen friends, you
Friends.
know and that is so important for all of us. We need our age group to kind of connect with. Same goes for them. They need those friends. They need to have a hobby. They need to have something to look forward to. So another, maybe I missed this point out earlier, but joining groups, joining yoga clubs, or even traveling together, as a group, That is also a great, way to embrace positive aging.
Right, right. These are such amazing tips, Sai. I also would like to share that, I see a lot of youngsters, children, a
Mhm.
lot of children my age who have aging parents. They insist on the fact that, "Oh, mommy, now you are old, please leave your job, you've done enough. Or, Papa, now you're retired, just, relax. You've had such a long life and, now just
Hmm.
relax." I somehow feel that that's not right. Suddenly for working, after working for 60 years, you just cannot sit at home. And I think for any child to expect that from a parent is also wrong in a certain way. Your parents are used
Hmm.
to a certain lifestyle, they have their own work relationships and their own lifestyle, and suddenly expecting them to leave their homes and move in with you to take care of your kids. Do you think that's justified, say?
Well, I agree with you. It's absolutely not justified. In fact, for all those kids who want their parents to work, I have a question to them, that do you want your parents to work, or do you want your parents to come and help you with your kids? Because that is something I see so often now. What is
Absolutely.
happening is, with senior citizens, they are retiring and then transitioning into, uh, you know caretakers of their grandchildren.
Yes.
So
Yes.
where is the break for
There's no
them?
break. And I think it is time that we all understand the same, and that they have led a life of dignity, and they also need that space after working so much. And I think it should always be a choice. I feel at any
Yes.
point in time, you should never take away the choice from your parent or your the elderly in your house. Everyone has the right to making a choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. Choice remains the first thing. I mean, you can't take away that choice, and we have to understand that, for somebody who's been working for so long, they have a purpose. And this generation, like now's generation of senior citizens, they are purpose driven. So
Yes.
they do need to have, wake up and do something. They are not like the younger generation now, who are very comfortable not doing much. Even if their day is not planned, they're not like that. So if you take away that purpose from them, then it's going to be very tough. And I must say that in the last couple of years, personally, if I look at my work, I'm seeing a lot of senior citizens, a lot of geriatric population who need counseling, because they are displaced from their home, their
Yeah.
native home, and now to get used to where their kids are staying, in a new place, and making new friends, that has taken a toll
Yeah, I'm
on this population.
sure.
So definitely, this is something all kids should understand, that it's going to cause a lot of harm just to leave them with no purpose and just displace them. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's been some amazing conversation with you, Sai. And I'm sure there are countless inspiring stories of people who actually have embraced positive aging.
Hmm.
And, all these aspects that you covered in your conversation today, it just tells us that age is not just a barrier to any personal growth and fulfillment, and that it's never too late to pursue your purpose and passion and dream also. So, thank you so much, Sai, for joining us today to highlight the importance of positive aging and how the elderly can actually make a difference to their own life by embracing their age. Um, Thank you. I'm sure if any of our listeners want to reach out to you, we will be giving the respective links if they want to see you for a consultation. They are free to book an appointment to see you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I had a great conversation with you.
Thank you, Sai. All the best and great work coming in from you always. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks.